Today we're going to talk about how to get value out of your 14-day Forcepoint DRA, Data Risk Assessment trial. Within the Forcepoint Data Security Cloud, logging in, you'll be able to see some of the data that you have already scanned in that repository. So it's for SharePoint, OneDrive. Um, the setup walks you through all of the necessary requirements for scanning that OneDrive, and then the DSPM dashboard will then give you all of the results of that initial scan. Getting value out of the 14-day trial, uh, it starts with the DSPM dashboard. This is where we're going to see a lot of the sensitive files, how many sensitive files you may have in that repository, as well as exposed regulatory files. Regulatory compliance such as PCI, PHI, PII. We'd be looking at drilling down into some of those exposed files, which may be externally shared, or anyone with the link may result in an exposure of a regulatory compliance file. Other dashboards that would be useful are the classifications by taxonomy. What might be classified as confidential or highly confidential, as an example. This is something that if you're not using a DSPM tool right now, DSPM solution right now, you're not necessarily sure where all of your data may be and if it is classified as highly confidential. And then after it's classified that way, is it exposed in any particular way? For instance, any type of overshared files that may include LUN numbers such as credit card numbers or HR documents that might be overshared. This is something that helps to get a handle or risk assessment of the risk of the data that the data may pose to the organization. Other other information that is very useful for understanding where your risk may be when it comes to that data is the critical and sensitive and file ingestion over time. If you're constantly using the OneDrive or the SharePoint, as most organizations are, you're going to be seeing data coming in and out of that, and being able to scan that on a regular basis, or if you're using the Forcepoint DDR, that's data detection and response add-on, you'll be able to see any changes made to that sensitive data in between scans. And ultimately, looking at high risk confidentiality and then high risk files by compliance tag. So for instance, we're looking at high risk PCI files. We're going to drill down into those files right now. And then we'll be able to see this. There's a specific document that may have not only PII data. In fact, this is classified as 100% PII data and about 50% PCI data, payment card industry, which means that this could be considered a risky file. And this file is high in the risk category. Let's take a deeper look at that specific file. Using the Forcepoint 14-day trial, not only are you able to scan that repository, you're only able to scan a single repository. The full DSPM product gives you multiple repositories or data sources that you can apply the scans to. And you're also able to get a file overview, which not only gives us a very quick review of the details of the file, such as the compliance tags that we're seeing, specific detector hits such as PCI filters, PCI information, and in fact, we're looking at Discover card, credit card numbers, which are part of this document, in addition to LUN or VAT numbers, which are the credit card numbers themselves. Let's take a quick look at some more details. Looking at this, we can see not only that is the OneDrive source, and that we already determined that it was highly confidential and at high risk. We can also see that the link is shared with anyone, and it's an external link. This is a possible data breach waiting to happen that may not have been known previous to a DSPM or DRA scan. Also, who has permissions to this? We can see that anyone with the link has permissions to it, which is an outside source, an outside user. And that's something, and any other outside users may have access to this file at this point. So being able to mitigate this, we also would like to know how many duplicates we have. Now, since we're only looking at a single data source, we can only look at any duplication within that data source. But other data sources being scanned, the duplication can be reported based on all of the accessible data sources, as well as any changes using the DDR add-on. what would we be able to do with this? After knowing this information, the ability to revoke permissions and being able to view those access rights and revoke permissions of any external user, that's going to be something that's going to be very important in a full-blown DSPM installation. To find out more or how you can actually expand your DSPM or data risk assessment, please click on the link in the description below.